An American orchestra doesn't want to play more than it has to. I respectfully disagree with that attitude. In golf, advice is not a big thing. If you don't have the ability, you won't get anywhere no matter how much advice you get. The only thing people can suggest that matters is, be a good person and treat people respectfully. But advice on your game doesn't mean much to me. And I think when you're playing someone who is a real person, it's extremely important to take the time and put in the effort to learn about who they are to be able to respectfully portray that. Mountains are freedom. Treat them respectfully. I've been pretty well treated by the critics, but the critics who didn't like my comedies hated them with an unbridled passion. And then I would see these same people writing very respectfully about ordinary naturalistic plays. A chap was digging a pond for his carp in the garden behind his terraced house in the small town of Raunds, when he unearthed remains of an Anglo-Saxon body. Because he'd seen Time Team, he knew exactly what to do with it. He cleaned it very respectfully and then called the local archaeologist, who called us in. I think that it's important to be diplomatic and disagree respectfully. Pay attention to those employees who respectfully ask why. They are demonstrating an interest in their jobs and exhibiting a curiosity that could eventually translate into leadership ability. Respectfully, awkward black girl was never meant to be politically correct. We poke fun at ignorance. For too long, people in Washington and Congress point fingers at each other, even as millions of middle-class Americans remain unemployed and our economy continues to sputter. They must realize that we are all in this together, and I respectfully submit that the best way to remind Congress of this is to tie their pay to their collective results. If you want to talk about EDM, let's talk about Detroit underground music, Chicago house, and let's talk about all the things that got us to this place. We all get on the train of dance music. We need to all respectfully look through the carriages that have come before us and realize how we got here. If a guy treats me respectfully and the waiter demeaningly, I'm turned off. I met people through Twitter whom I wouldn't have otherwise. Readers sent me story tips over direct message. Many pointed out errors, but most did it respectfully, and I was appreciative. It may be, however, that I am too much wedded to my own views in the matter, and as I have spent nearly 8 years of the hardest work of my life in this department, I respectfully request that I may now be relieved from its command. I say this respectfully, but there always appears to be a reason for guys like Robert Guerrero, Victor Ortiz, and some others to avoid me. The reason we see more recreations is because people want to reintroduce some iconic songs to the younger generation. I support recreations too, as long as they're done well and respectfully. I have done a couple myself too, but when I recreate a song, I do it like a tribute to the makers of the original song. I stood respectfully as Ronald Reagan was sworn into his second term, though I disagreed with him on many issues. I stood as well for the inauguration of George W. Bush's second term, though I thought his war in Iraq was a tragic mistake. They had no right, as it seems to me, to prosecute me in these halls, nor have you the right in law or under the Constitution, as I respectfully submit, to take jurisdiction over offenses committed against them. There are a lot of Latinos who believe that allowing illegal immigrants to cut in front of the line ahead of those pursuing the legal path sends the wrong signal. The GOP needs to articulate that message respectfully but boldly. I really think that Muslim people should stop raising their boys and girls that way. They instill a macho culture right from the start of childhood. And if you have never learned to treat girls and women respectfully, you will never be able to act differently later on than the men in your culture, and in your family. That's fact. I guess I'm concerned that vulgarity has now officially entered the mainstream of our culture, and I think people have to respectfully stand up and say, no thanks. I am from a very vague caste. I don't belong to any of the four. I am Kayastha. They are well read, largely clerks, so they get treated respectfully. Even when there's disagreements politically or among veterans or among advocacy organizations, let's agree to do that respectfully and show care and compassion to those who have served us. I'm not an artist that strays away from my fans. Nah, everybody is open to come and talk to me respectfully, and I'm going to give them the same respect. My mother taught me to treat a lady respectfully. We talk of our mastery of nature, which sounds very grand, but the fact is we respectfully adapt ourselves, first, to her ways. If you're going to come at me respectfully, and I will respond respectfully. I remember being at school during morning meeting and looking around at everybody, 350 kids, saying a prayer. We're all very young and no one knows what it means, and I remember feeling strange that people were just repeating words that they didn't understand. I refused to participate. For some reason I always rejected it, but respectfully. We're living in a time where I think most people are wanting someone to invite them respectfully to a policy position, not try to just slash and burn the other person. We are looking at it, but in a lot of cases gig workers should be classified as employees. In some cases they are treated respectfully and in some cases they are not, and I think it has to be consistent across the board. I submit, on the other hand, most respectfully, that the Constitution not merely does not affirm that principle, but, on the contrary, altogether excludes it. I hope that people who might speak out respectfully and out of concern would not get mobbed or bullied for their differing views. I've never hidden my Christianity in Hollywood, and I've been handled respectfully because I handle the issue and other people respectfully. Until the courts put a stop to it, public debate over same-sex marriage displayed American democracy at its best. Individuals on both sides of the issue passionately, but respectfully, attempted to persuade their fellow citizens to accept their views. To be honest, I'm a little upset these days. My family has been exposed to the media. Some people break into our house. My ex-girlfriend's photos are circulating online. To say that these are things I need to endure for the sake of celebrity, that's sad. I want to respectfully request that my private life remain private. I've been personally attacked for respectfully expressing my take on women's empowerment. You can't be new for too long. You want to just respectfully disappear. It's a bit sad sometimes. Michael Jordan retired like a god, and then he came back. We don't want to go out like that. I think it's so important for girls to love themselves and to treat their bodies respectfully. I always relate respectfully with blue-collar people. I love animals and I love to see movies with animals that are done respectfully, you know? I have been working in the entertainment industry my whole life and have always endeavored to treat everyone on any set I work on respectfully and professionally. That's what you have to learn with life. It's your life at the end of the day. There's really no right or wrong way to do things. Everybody has a way they think you should do it. So why not do it your way, you know what I mean, respectfully. You have to respectfully listen to advice. Writers like me, whose criticism is offered respectfully, seem to be considered more dangerous than the more strident Saudi opposition based in London. But my manners also came from when I was in college and began participating in critiques. You have to speak with someone respectfully about their work and be honest and open, without hurting them. We are all representatives of the American people. We all do town hall meetings. We all talk to our constituents. And I've got to tell you, the American people are engaged. And if you think they want a government takeover of health care, would respectfully submit you're not listening to them. I owe my success to having listened respectfully to the very best advice, and then going away and doing the exact opposite. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.